In this segment, Stephanie Miller welcomes Noel Casler to the program. Noel is a comedian and a former contestant on Celebrity Apprentice. He takes us behind the scenes of what it's like dealing with Donald Trump without the cameras running. Here's Stephanie.
The grift will never end, will it, Noel? I mean, it's... You just... The first go around, I blame Mark Burnett and the mainstream media, and okay, whatever, you bought the bull that he's a successful businessman. But now, like, sorry, kids, no, presents for Christmas, but here's a piece of Donald Trump's suit.
Exactly. Piece of his smelly suit, and he raised $1.3 million or something last month off of one of his particular legal funds. He spent 30,000 of it on a party at Mar-a-Lago, pocketed the rest. Yep.
They're just so endlessly stupid. These people, it really is amazing. You said his soiled garments may raise a lot of money, but I guess it depends. I knew that you were going to get a diaper joke in there. I knew that you would always go for the...
I cannot resist the depends jokes. It's the one thing I own. It's like, that's what she said or something. It's my
it must be a lot for even you to take in this week. Just the blinding hypocrisy and ridiculousness of not just Trump, but this whole party that, it literally is impeaching Joe Biden so that Trump can Pee Wee Herman and going, "Now you ever, what am I?" You were impeached too. I mean, it's so insane that there is absolutely no evidence of wrongdoing at all.
No. And Joe Biden has worked on Capitol Hill for 50 years, right? He's been in D.C. for 50 years. He joined the Senate in 1973. If he was a criminal, don't you think it would have come up before now?
Yeah.
He was known for working across the aisle. He was vice president to Barack Obama. You don't think Barack Obama would have vetted any sort of malfeasance on Biden's part? It's not there, but they're trying to level the playing field with the grifter, with the guy who's selling chunks of his suit to raise money. Like it's embarrassing.
I love how you put it on Twitter about that it would have surfaced in the 50 effing years, but you said, of course, he never has been, and the GOP damn well knows it. They've been taken over by a corpulent orange mobster who has all their model nutsacks sitting on a shelf in Mar-a-Lago next to the documents he stole and pictures of his daughter that he still jerks off to every night. That part was very rude, Noel.
That was unkind. There's no doubt. It was unkind. I was a little angry,
I mean, it is terrifying, isn't it? Because, what he's gotten away with. We just had Jill Wine-Banks on, and in any sane world, like there was at least even during Watergate with this Supreme Court, but it's this Supreme Court with all these Trump-appointed judges that makes you think, oh my God, is he going to get away with this too, with overthrowing the United States government? I mean, you said one of the main themes of his presidency was putting SCOTUS in his back pocket. We're seeing the results of that. You said he got an able assist from the GOP and whatever is yet uninvestigated behind the scenes went down with Kavanaugh. Ooh, we still don't know that. And the last hour appointment of the chick who looks like the singer in Iron Maiden. Is that Amy Coney Barrett? Donald has always used the courts as a weapon. It's bearing bitter fruit now. Are you scared, not confident about what's going to happen at the Supreme Court? What do you think?
Yeah, I am a little scared, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert like your last guest, obviously, but I am an expert in Donald Trump's overall MO. And the last time I was on this show, I mentioned he had been involved in 4,000 lawsuits before he became president. So what he likes to do is run out the clock. And as you just said, and said in that tweet, he has a sympathetic Supreme Court that have already shown us they have more loyalty to Donald Trump than the actual Constitution. Their North Star is their conservative sort of Christo-fascist ideology. So if it comes down to somebody, like Justice Alito making this decision, we're in trouble. And the other problem is, I think a lot of people were hoping that this trial would happen in March and he would get convicted in March. Right. If SCOTUS doesn't make this decision till June and somehow says that the trial can't happen until after the next election, and God forbid he's elected, then he just throws the case out.
Yeah, of course.
And if you look back on his career, he's done similar things all along.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for that. Jill talked me down, and now you have me.
Well, I'm not an expert.
Can I
That's
sell
what
my used diapers? We have one more day of the fund drive.
Sure. Yeah. I'm sure that.
Thanks, Noel. Okay. You also tweeted, Biden is one of the most effective and empathetic presidents in my lifetime, and to hell if I'm going to stand by while some cave beasts like Marjorie Taylor Greene and kooks like James Comer draw up some BS impeachment based on zero facts to equate him with that orange loser who sold us out to Putin.
Zero shame, and they don't get pushback from the sort of culture that they're pushing, so the common man who's a MAGA type isn't paying attention to the technicalities. They're hearing this, ridiculous narrative on Fox News every night, and they're going to believe this stuff, and they're going to sell away, their futures to a con man who's going to ruin this country if he gets reelected.
But, it's a little hard. I feel like even some facts are starting to seep onto to Fox News. No, I mean, they're starting to talk about how great the economy is. How do you hit the highest stock market ever? Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess people, because these clips are everywhere of Trump going, the stock market's going to crash. We're going to have the worst depression ever if you don't elect me. I mean, it's just every economic barometer is through the roof, beyond all economists' expectations, right? And so
Absolutely.
I mean, and even what's his name? James Comer won't go on Fox and Friends because they keep telling him his investigation's BS. So I feel like even in some segments of Fox News, there are facts seeping through, don't you?
100%, and my job is to be a pessimist. I'm always going to say the worst case scenario because I fear, but you're right. Like the Peter Doocy or whatever his name is, Comer won't go on there. And, the New York-based Fox News, the guys that are in the studio on 6th Avenue, see the results of a 37,000 Dow or closing yesterday or whatever it was, So, hopefully you're right. Hopefully, a rising tide lifts all boats and that seeps into middle America. And if you look at the construction that's happening, the things that are allowing, the conservatives to buy the new pickup truck and buy the new house and get the boat in Florida, those are results of Biden's economic packages. Mm-hmm. We were tanked after Trump's response to COVID, right? And his tax cuts, which only benefited the rich. You give tax cuts to corporations, they move jobs overseas. You rebuild America, you bring jobs home. That's what Biden's trying to do.
I can't imagine we have such short-term memory loss that we don't, remember that Trump handed him the Great Depression, the Spanish flu, and the Civil War, pretty much, with January 6th, all at the same time. I mean, and by the way, I know you hate hearing about Trump losing, but we do have some breaking news. Trump loses appeal to overturn gag order in New York fraud trial. Oh, cue the bitching and whining in a minute.
Exactly.
I'll go check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jill Wine-Banks is, I don't know, maybe I'm, again, a Pollyanna like she said she might be, but I can't imagine even this Supreme Court is going to rule that he has presidential immunity. I just can't, as I said to her, I'm like, that means Biden could shoot Trump on Fifth Avenue, according to the Supreme Court then. And no president can ever be held responsible for anything, right?
I think you're right. I mean, hopefully in all of this, saner heads prevail. It's always like, the outliers that scream and make the most, the chaos for Trump's behalf. But you're right. Hopefully it goes the way this republic has always gone, and smart, educated people do the right thing, in alliance, with our Constitution.
Yeah. We had Carl Frisch on today, who just won his school board seat by 11 billion points.
Something like that, yeah.
Openly gay school board member. Got sworn in on a stack of banned LGBTQ books, which is fantastic. But, Stone Kettle tweeted, fascism starts locally with the little elections. Totalitarianism starts with the dog catcher, the selectmen, the town council, the mayor, the county sheriff, the local judges, the state government, with those running the local political parties. And then it grows like a cancer until it's powerful enough that no election matters. You want a better nation, you have to show up every time. And that's, what you always speak out about is and I think that's all we can do is just keep saying that and keep, that's why, Carl put his money where his mouth is, because what's the joke Hal does? He goes, I know some liberals that are so patriotic, they vote every other election at least.
Yeah.